We say that the strongman of this country is what? Intellectual witchcraft, right? Bwana asifiwe. And were you able to define intellectual witchcraft? It is learnedness without a heart. It is words without their intended meaning. Put in other words, it is governance without empathy. It is theorizing a solution without capacitating a heart to carry a burden. Theorizing a solution without capacitating a heart to carry a burden. Intellectual witchcraft. It is sounding brilliant, but you don't feel godly. Intellectual witchcraft. Sounding brilliant, but you don't feel godly. Because immediately he began to show me, and I'm seeing a man that has a lot of verbosity to him. The mouth is open. In every sense of the word, he's grandiloquent. He can say what he wants to say. But that's the only thing that is functional on his visage. From the nose up, the eyes have been covered by a veil, and the mind has been arrested. So we have people that can say things so well, but their eyes can't see certain things, and their minds can't think in certain ways. Folks, there are two things that have shifted dramatically within the past 2.5 years. In our nation, and I wouldn't wish that you be ignorant of the same. They involve an institution and a generation. The past 2.5 years have manifested a generation that has never encountered God, but is zealous at the proposition to counter gods. And that is Gen Z for you. A generation that has never encountered God, but is zealous at the proposition to counter gods. The second thing the past 2.5 years have done in this country is to manifest a mutant of a police force that has no regard for human blood, because it is established on a blood. Regard for human blood, because it is established on a blood. Part of the failure of the fathers was to define the disciplined forces of our country. And the battle around defining a disciplined force in the realm of the spirit is to be able, through the sword of the outpouring of the Spirit, sever the lust for possession with the equipment to handle the honor of blood. And these are things we shall continue to resound in the realm. Yet there be a one that undermines the necessity of the cry that we are making in the territory. I'm saying that because I saw in the spirit a bullet wound of a top politician in Western Kenya. Put it more honest words, that he was shot. And I will quote his name because he's a man that loves walking. And he is supposed to receive retribution in the realms of the spirit because of his anti-government rants, which for me is a new law, because especially that region is a space that has experienced a lot of political tolerance. And political tolerance for me has been the post-2002 political reformation that the Rainbow Coalition brought to our shores. But that is increasingly becoming a thing of the past, with the malaise that we have just survived of abductions and what have you. Folks, you cannot underestimate a blood that is asking for a blood, and that becoming an institution, which is the intercession that we need to lift this season in our country. Let not a blood ask for a blood, even heading to the next general election. Secondly, it is incumbent upon us, we that are the apostolic sound of our country, we here, I'm not imagining there's someone else, we here, to turn the course of a generation, that Gen Z generation, to turn it. Because we have hyped it, we have decorated its audacities. But we need to also be honest about the caveat at play. Because you can't counter gods without having encountered God. You need to understand that this season there's a web of mercy that is holding things up. But if we were to eat the piece of the pie that we deserve as a nation or as a people, I mean, this is a nation that is given over to the dogs in every way that you'd want to look at it. And that's why you never know. Maybe your obedience to Christ is the reasons why God is still holding up a civility. Folks, you never know. Maybe you're being baptized of the Spirit is the reasons why there is some sobriety that can translate into societal order. Remember, all across the history of redemption, the issue with the Christian or the issue with the follower of God has always been their propensity to undermine themselves. It could be these clouds that are coming down in this realm are the reasons why the protocols of the city are still holding up. But because when you came down from the floor, you didn't stand a billionaire. So you stand to despise this glory. Of course you did. I'm just saying that right now there might not be 500,000 in your pocket. And therefore you think that what you are handling here is small and puny and a factor that does not contribute to the welfare of history. Folks, we that understand these things heading into 2027, we need to be upbeat. Seriously. Yeah. I beseech thee by the mercies of God. Remember, he does not just come. What if he came so that through us order can come? What if he came so that through us he can sustain a generation? What if? What if? Speaking of which, last week I was here seated and I was in the spirit, and I saw flood waters that rose and they came and filled this place, and I thought they were good waters because I was in the spirit. But then I was agitated at some point, so I rebuked the waters and they subsided, and they seemed to recede until they were swallowed up by portals of the earth. But maybe that is a subjective experience. Let's talk about something a bit more objective. Because on Friday I was here in church ahead of the Kesha, and I was just in prayer, and the rains began. And the atmospheres had quite a spirit of tangible fear. You could feel the mortification that was in the atmosphere. It's later on that I was talking with my wife, and she was telling me that she was also so afraid when the rains began. Actually, to be honest, in view of the earlier vision, I would have rebuked the rains by faith. But then I'm also aware that millions of Kenyans, about 3 million, face starvation. So we have also been praying for the rains to come, right? Asking God to shower our lands with water. So rains are a good thing until they are not, right? Anybody with me? What is more objective? This is what is more objective. That I am in the spirit. Now the Lord is not directing me to stop the rains, or so I thought. He is showing me the governor of this city. And that takes us back to our convo from end of last year, when we were talking about the strong man of this country. We said that the strong man of this country is what? Intellectual witchcraft, right? Bwana asifiwe. And were you able to define intellectual witchcraft? It is learnedness without a heart. It is words without their intended meaning. Put in other words, it is governance without empathy. It is theorizing a solution without capacitating a heart to carry a burden. Theorizing a solution without capacitating a heart to carry a burden. Intellectual witchcraft. It is sounding brilliant, but you don't feel godly. Intellectual witchcraft. Sounding brilliant, but you don't feel godly. Because immediately he began to show me, and I'm seeing a man that has a lot of verbosity to him. The mouth is open. In every sense of the word, he's grandiloquent. He can say what he wants to say. But that's the only thing that is functional on his visage. From the nose up, the eyes have been covered by a veil, and the mind has been arrested. So we have people that can say things so well, but their eyes can't see certain things, and their minds can't think in certain ways. Say it again. They can say things so well, but they are talking about things that they can't see. Folks, they can't see, and their minds are so arrested. Because for us to lose the number of souls we lost just here in the CPD, folks, what does it take to discharge 2 helicopters from Wilson Airport to come and do airlifting here at Kirinyaga Road to rescue lives? Because the only thing you cannot tell me is that there is no money, because 11 billion shillings is missing from shark coffers, right? So money is there. What don't we have? It's a heart against a mind. It's a burden. That's what we do. That's what we don't have. No one should tell you that they don't have money to save lives. What they don't have is a heart to cry when blood is being shed. That's what they don't have. Because folks were alive as soon as the floods went berserk, right? Clips were there on TikTok. We had 3 hours of total rampage. 3 hours are enough for a helicopter to fly, even if it is an AMREF helicopter, from Wilson to Kirinyaga Road to save people that are drowning in cars. But remember, Revelation chapter 13, the beast was given a mouth. Beasts can be given mouth. The only thing they can't access is a heart. A beast can have a tongue to say things. The only thing it cannot have is a burden. Because, folks, if we may assume our home stretch now, hearts and minds are spirit systems. Even an utterance is a spirit system. It's just that the enemy has been allowed to access in our generation. And that's why you'll not just listen to what they are saying. The Lord will allow you to discern what the heart is actually saying. The mystery of our generation is a schism between what the mind knows and what the heart truly believes. Can you imagine? I have command over a battalion of rescue workers, and I'm busy flipping and scrolling down my TikTok feed when people are dying in waters down here. So instead of God telling me stand and face towards the north and rebuke the cloud that caused this mayhem, he begins to reveal the mind and the eyes of a man vis-a-vis his mouth. But if you have been in Capital Church, that should not be new. Because you heard me say, the strongman that we should pray against and resist, even ahead of the transition coming next year, is intellectual witchcraft. And that will begin from the church. Part of the Reformation that we shall enact this year shall root out those tares from the church itself. Don't say what your heart is not saying. And don't lead people if by a burden you are not leading them through empathy. Don't suppose to be over a people that you cannot weep for. You are a hopeless clown. Whether you're in the church or wherever it is that you are. Did you hear what I said? Folks, did you hear what I said? Blood is not just shed blood is shed for kingdom interests. You don't just die inside your car because it rained that day. There's a kingdom interest in the detail. And there are people that are reaping because others told us that they would lead us, but their hearts are very far from the interest of the common Kenyan. Judgment shall begin from the house of the Lord. Let's start here. Do you mean what you normally say? Is your heart in your argument? Are you here, or are you just here to advance your lustful interests?
Hello there. This is Apostle William Mbae, the senior pastor of CCI Capital Church. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to our services at CCI Capital Church. CCI Capital Church is a ministry at the heart of Nairobi CBD. We are located along Moi Avenue, opposite Bazaar Plaza. We are a storefront church at Mitho Biashara Center. You're welcome to our services on the 4th floor of this very prestigious building. Yes, welcome to our Wednesday service that starts at 5:30 p.m. Welcome to our Sunday service that starts at 8 a.m. for our first service and 11 a.m. for our second service. Come and experience the fullness of God, the power of God, the prophecies of God, the Spirit of God, the Word of God, the community of God, the intimacy of God, the ministry of the Word, and what have you. You are welcome to CCI Capital Church. Check the description for details. You are welcome, and God bless you.